When it comes to AI and APIs, I treat it just like any other application, web, mobile, device. I kind of keep it at arm's length. I'm focused on APIs, standardizing and governing those. And when it comes to AI, just like any other application, you get what you put into it. So high quality APIs, you're going to have a good quality AI outcome.
Yeah, actually, AI changes APIs, I think, in a few important ways. We can design for AI. We can actually design for AI agents. That might be a slightly different API design. We can use agents to help us implement prototypes and test out ideas, I think, much cheaper than we used to if we were doing them by hand. And I think it's really important to document our APIs with OpenAPI and other specifications very explicitly to make it easier for agents. Overall, I think we're looking for a lot more API activity thanks to AI.
Well, I think to start off with, we are in an AI era now. It is starting off because there has been a bit of a democratization of AI. But ultimately, a lot of the problems or challenges or solutions are still going to be very similar to how we approached APIs. There's going to be governance, there's going to be security, there's going to be management required. And ultimately, for you to be AI ready, you need to get your API house in order first, which is where API management comes in. So AI readiness equals API management, AI governance equals to AI productivity, and ultimately that's how you gain value with AI. So that's my take on this.
I think APIs become even more important in the age of AI, and what's going to be, for those that know me, I'm a big governance, keeping your API house in order, making sure that you document them more than just from a technical perspective, but from a consumption perspective. It's going to be incredibly important in order for agonic, systems to be able to connect and leverage those AIs. So AIs are more important now than they ever have been.
Okay, so a lot of the changes that I'm seeing or I predict that would be seen is a shift to adding a new consumer. So before we've had developers and we design for developers, we document for developers. We're now going to have to expand that to the machine space. So now our integrations and things are going to have to factor that in as a new type or style of consumption. And that's definitely going to have an impact on the way we think about APIs, monitor, manage them, design them, and everything in between.
Yeah, that's exciting now. So now instead of developers, citizen developers, now we have agents who would be consumer of your APIs as well. So for your developer portals, you would need to host this new audience for your APIs as well, and also meet where your developers are, which means take your documentation, your SDKs, everything, where developers are coding, and make accessible via MCP servers as well. So that's where we think we're going.
Nice. So I do think the API space is massively influenced by AI. I think it's one of the best things that's happening to the API space right now. Why? It's very simple. In our own research, we saw an increase on a yearly basis of 800% when it comes to AI-based APIs. And essentially, we see a lot of growth driving the APIs specifically tied to AI. I just hope that basically we all kind of secure and govern a lot of these APIs, but I think the future looks very, very bright, especially because of AI.
Okay, so I think one of the most interesting changes is that there's a new API consumer. So we now have AI agents that will start to dominate API consumption. So we need to start preparing for their agentic experience. So we need to think more about API docs, we need to think about semantics, and we need to think about how do we make APIs discoverable to agents so that they can execute APIs safely.
Yeah, I think it's changing massively because now we have not only developers as API consumers, but now we have also AI as API consumers. So we all want to design for our consumers. So how do we design actually APIs for AI? Do we change anything? Are all the data types now strings? Well, we should all participate in practicing in collecting our experiences in designing APIs for AI and write up some best practices around it.
Very interesting question, right? There is nothing called AI without API is what a lot of people talking in the market. I completely vouch by it. It's taking a backstage, but trust me, that's the nerve system for you to do anything with AI. And I totally believe it, and it's going to happen very soon.
That's a good question. I think with AI, I think APIs are dead.
they're over. No, I think AI has brought a lot of visibility to APIs. I think APIs have always been kind of there running everything, but now with AI, they've gotten a whole lot more attention, good and bad. It's exposed a lot of security issues. I think the standards are going to become even more important in the next coming years with the relations to APIs and AI, as well as security around all of this in the future.